Yo, what up, family? Welcome back to Flesh of the Gods. As we can see, Damekion, SXARFAXE, Garlington has been sentenced today. Let's get into it, family. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend, show some love on your way in. Let's get into it, family. Yeah.
Welcome to Flesh of the Gods. Well,
A little bit of Hilton popping up already. What up, T. Roberts? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Let's get into it. Tat, what up, though? Lord, tat in the building. Appreciate you joining. Watch the rise in the building. They just walking in. Well, I mean, you know.
All right, we're on the record in case number 23 SC 183572. This is a sentencing hearing for Mr. Garlington, who entered a guilty plea to certain of the counts against him yesterday. Okay, and we're on hold. They need a Zoom link. We can just use the one we're on right now.
Who am I sending it to?
Miss Warlick. And I guess, does the state need it? Oh, we ready? Okay. All right, so is the state going to go first? And I don't know what the recommendations are at this point, so if y'all could let me know that as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor. Today we're here regarding sentencing for Mr. Damekion Garlington. Yesterday, Mr. Garlington pled to count one of this indictment, which is conspiracy to commit the Racketeering and Corruption Organizations Act. Count 42, participation in criminal street gang activity. Count 49, which is aggravated assault, murder, reducing aggravated assault. Count 50, participation in criminal street gang activity. And count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of felony. Those charges are total exposure of 85 years.
Right.
As you heard yesterday, Mr. Garlington is currently on probation in indictment 15 SC 138894 for crimes associated with the April 28, 2015 drive-by shootings of Adele Avenue and Drew Drive. He received a total sentence of 15 years and served 5 years in confinements. That probation ends on December 27, 2029. The state brings that up, Your Honor, because as a general condition of probation, Mr. Garlington was not to violate any criminal laws. And as a special condition of that probation, he was to have no direct or indirect contact with any YSL members, no contact with any gang members, and no gang-related social media.
All right, and is the state seeking to revoke that probation?
Not at this time, Your Honor. And while we're not here for a probation revocation matter, the state thought it was important for this sentencing court to be aware of what Mr. Garlington was required to do, because he has failed to comply with any of those conditions. Instead, Mr. Garlington chose to continue to associate with YSL gang members, to include Shannon Stillwell, Kenneth Copeland, Jeffrey Williams, Khalif Adams, Jaden Myrick, Ponte Greer, and that's the name of few. He then engaged in a conspiracy to attack a rival gang member, Rashawn Bennett, who was stabbed in the Fulton County Jail. That That incident ultimately led to a retaliatory shooting that killed Christian McMiller and Darius Ford, and that murder led to another retaliatory shooting in which the state believes that Mr. Garlington was a part of, which was a retaliatory shooting that killed Mr. Shamel Drinks on March 14, 2022. After Mr. Drinks was murdered, it was Mr. Garlington on his social media post that said, "We got you boys." And this was only hours after the murder. And the state believes that was to indicate that he, along with Shannon Stillwell, avenged their friend's death. And even after that murder,
After he already been found not guilty, though, she's still bringing this shit up?
it was Mr. Garlington talking with other gang members over the phone while certain individuals were in custody to get protection for fellow YSL gang member Miles Farley. It is the state deciding its recommendation, Your Honor. The state has taken into consideration a number of different factors. Mr. Garlington's previous criminal history, Mr. Garlington's involvement with the YSL gang from 2015, his continued gang involvement even while on probation, and Your Honor, we have certainly taken into consideration the results of the previous trial that we had before Your Honor. Given that, Your Honor, it is the state's recommendation that for count 1, RICO, 20 years to serve in confinement. Count 42, participation in criminal street gang activity, which would be 20 years to serve, concurrent with count 1. Count 49, aggravated assault, 20 years to serve, consecutive, 20 years to serve concurrent with count 42 and count 41. Count 50, participation in criminal street gang activity, 20 years to serve consecutive to count 1, but on probation. Count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 5 years to serve consecutive to count 50, for a total sentence of 45 years to serve with 20 years in custody. As a special condition of that probation, Your Honor, he's to have no contact with victims or co-defendants, no criminal street gang activity, no association with criminal street gang members, no firearms or gun replicas, no gang paraphernalia.
Hang on.
If he has not obtained his GED, be in school or gainfully employed, and any Fourth Amendment waiver, including social media. The state did have, just as some evidence in sentencing, Your Honor, these are items that were presented during the first trial, but some of the social media posts that led up to the murder of Mr. Drinks, Your Honor. And I'm showing it to the counsel. And Your Honor, the first 3 states exhibit 1, 2, and 3 are pictures of Mr. Garlington with YSL associates Christian McMiller prior to his death, Your Honor. The third one is Mr. Garlington, you see him with his head towards the camera with previous co-defendant Antonio Sumlin. State exhibit number 4 is a post by Mr. Shannon Stillwell, which was a few days before Shamel Drink's murder, which said ain't gonna be the only one crying. And then state exhibit 5 is the exhibit that I referenced earlier, which was done only hours after the murder of Shamel Drinks, in which Mr. Garlington posted, "We got y'all boys." Now,
You may. Any objection to those?
no objection. And Your Honor, we do not have any victim impact statements for this sentencing hearing, and so with that, we conclude the
All right.
That's a facts. Defamation of character like a mug. They be up there straight lying on people. What up, Allie? What up, Pop?
I did 45 years, served 20 years.
What she say?
And Your 20 years in confinement with a balance on probation.
Right, yeah, that's what I understood it to be. Thank you.
Jazzy T, what up, family? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Tech Clouds holding it down. Appreciate the love.
Good afternoon.
So we were grateful for the negotiations that we were able to get to, at least partially. We couldn't get there on the numbers, but at least we got there on the charges. The state's indicated what they took into consideration in making this an offer, and I guess kind of balancing what we were requesting. But I do want to just run through a little bit of Mr. Garlington's situation and juxtapose it to the other defendants. And at some point, I just want to better understand what he is outside of the indictment and the charges and the posts. As it pertains to the
Sorry about that, but as y'all know, Fulton County has the worst audio in all of court history. They make sure they stay audio up. They make people not want to watch they shenanigans.
charges here and in the indictment, I don't believe at any point anyone is alleging that he was a leader. And at some point in that 2015 incident, which is why he is on probation, he did cooperate with law enforcement. He gave a statement. They were questioning him about 2 shootings. He thought that they were only asking him about 1. And he did admit to his involvement in that one. His original sentence, I believe, was pending 2, and then ultimately he was resentenced to 15 certified credit for time served. I do want to point out that that probation violation that led to his revocation wasn't for him committing a new offense. It was for him being associated with a gang member. I don't have the case off the top of my head, but a 2024 case, and this was concerning the overly broad terms pertaining to child molester sentencing, said that it's overly broad to put that sentence do not have any contact, any direct or direct with children, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was more that the condition that said stay away from anywhere that a child might be was overbroad, but I know the case you're talking about.
Yeah, and so same situation here. I believe it might be a bit of a but I want to highlight the most out of there that he was not engaged in committing a criminal offense. He wasn't subsequently charged for anything, and that revocation took place in 2020. We don't have him down for any other incidents until 2022, and that's where I would like to direct the court to his 2022 situation. Of course, here is an overview of the charges. Of course, we're aware of the RICO and what the overt acts are. Most of the overt acts concern pictures, posts, and conversations amongst friends. Then we turn to a jail incident. During the time of the jail incident, Mr. Garlington was out of custody. There was conversation between Mr. Myers and Mr. Adams. We went through most of this yesterday, so I'm assuming.
Right.
But he didn't, what wasn't necessarily within the text message was there was some confirmation from him saying, oh gosh, did you guys get this done? Or wow. There was no request from him to make it public. Throughout the course of this, we've heard that the gang members seek recognition and acknowledgement, and most of the time they post their wins and whatever has happened. There's no evidence of that, of him seeking to say, hey, post this, let them know that this happened, let them know that I was involved here. He's not bragging about it. There's no evidence of him taking credit for it. And there's no evidence that he paid for it. I think that the state's theory was that he was involved in some sort of payment for this incident to take place. And the evidence just doesn't support that. In fact, from the incident reports from the jail incident, it seemed like they had gotten into an argument, Mr. Myrick and Mr. Bennett, before this happened. Mr. Myrick had been wandering around for a while. I'm going to attach just a snippet of that. He'd been outside of, they were both in protective custody. He'd been outside
I remember it.
Okay. No need to play it, Your Honor. But
My bad, the volume kind of jumping. I got her volume raised up so we can hear what she's saying, and I'm trying to keep my finger on the button to cut it down when Whitaker talks, so I ain't sometimes don't catch it. So don't turn your TV up too loud. I'm gonna try to keep it loud on my end so we can hear her, and I'll cut it down when Whitaker talk.
as it concerns, and still we have no direct evidence of him being at the location. We don't have evidence of him being in the car, so DNA. Not that that's like a big deal, because again, there was very little evidence found in the vehicle to begin with for any. There was no evidence that they had planned to do this, and the post that was made after, and I get what the state would like for Mr. Garlington's intent to be behind that post, but it had nothing to do with Mr. Lynch. I don't think We Got Y'all Boys is just like a general statement of support. They were going to the studio that day. I'm not sure what inside jokes they might have shared, but I just am hesitant.
They trying to lock him up and get his boy life because he put "We Got Y'all Boys." What do that prove? How is that any type of evidence? Because it say "We Got Y'all Boys." What is it talking about? What is it proving? Who is it saying they got? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Tall Glass, what up though? Appreciate you joining.
About there being other evidence to infer nefarious intent to a post that's so general in that nature. Of course, the video that the court is aware of, it doesn't even support, even if there was a reach to put him in the car, it doesn't support. Now, there is enough circumstantial evidence placed in there. There is enough from their FBI situation with the cell phone, but even with that, there's conflicting evidence as to the cell phone tower. At some point, early March, there was a wiretap placed on Mr. Garlington's phone. The FBI compiled this location data based upon his cell phone records. However, the wiretap is getting real-time locations of incidents. So this is what the FBI's looks like, and it's tracking him. The shooting takes place around 10 p.m. So they got his time located from 9:30 up until about 9:59 around here. What's interesting with the cell phone, the wiretap data, is that it shows that he's traveling up I-85, and where his cell phone picks up, it bounces from one tower to the next. Where it ends up is north and I'm going to mess this direction up. I think it's north and east. North of 20, east of 85. And so that incident location takes place west of 85 and south of 20. So then 9:48, it's only pinging up in that direction, which is more indicative of that he was traveling up 85 north separately, whatever, and then came down. And that is consistent with him being found on the highway and not necessarily in that location. That real-time data at no point puts in where the location of the incident was or the gas station. But again, circumstantial evidence can go either way. And so Mr. Garlington was willing to take the risk on that and file for plea, Your Honor. But I would like the court to consider the sentences of other individuals in this case based upon their leadership role, Mr. Garlington's lack of leadership role, his cooperation with enforcement, their lack of cooperation with enforcement. No evidence that he directly harmed anybody in this moment. For a lot of the previous defendants, there was no direct fact, or maybe there was a not guilty after presentation of evidence of direct harm, and his prior felony conviction. So, what we would ask the court for is a global 40 to 10 and credit for time served with the balance suspended, and how we envision that would be a 20 to 5 on count 1, credit for time served, balance suspended, count 42, 10 years probation, consecutive, count 1, count 49, 20 years probation, concurrent with count 1.
How many?
Count 50, 10 years, probation consecutive to count 42, and count 54, 5 years to serve, balance suspended, credit for time served, balance suspended.
54.
My Black is golden in the building. What up, family? Appreciate you joining. Yo, I just added the Damekion Garlington emoji back to the emojis down there, but you might have to refresh your browser if you don't see it, because I just added it, so it might not show up until you refresh your browser. If y'all want to use the free Damekion Garlington, aka Scarface. What up, Shay? I see you. Appreciate you joining.
It looks to me like that adds up to, let me read that back to you, what the recommendation is. Y'all are recommending 20, serve 5, balance suspended on count 1, 10 probation consecutive to count 1 on 42, 20 probation concurrent with count 1 on 49, 10 probation consecutive to 42. Is that what you said, or to 49 on count 50?
It was consecutive to 42.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. And then on 54, 5 to serve consecutive to 40 to 50 and suspended.
No, 'cause that throws me off. I think it was supposed to be the 5.
I don't know. What is it? What are you suggesting? Trying to understand what your recommendation
I
is.
got myself hooked on that there. I think the 5 was to serve concurrent and then balance.
54 has to be consecutive, right?
I'm sorry, it does have to be consecutive. So that takes me to 20, 45.
So 54 years consecutive. Look how she looking. Y'all didn't add this up before? Y'all wait till y'all got here to do all the math?
So that would really be 45, right?
Yeah. Yes.
To serve. And you said 45 serve 10, but I don't see where that's coming from.
I'm sorry, it's 45 served 5 because I did do the balance suspended on that, the weapons charge.
All right. Anything else you want
A body, Hilton, and a bossy up in there.
to present?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to have his family
Well, there's never a need to engage in
Yes,
criminal.
correct.
I want to rephrase that.
I understand. What, or the perception, right? So what I've seen here is, without throwing anybody else under the bus, other individuals still carrying weapons under a presumed, that I'm presuming that would be the reason why, is that you feel that you are somewhat at risk, despite that being against the terms of your probation and against
The
what you're
law.
lawfully allowed to do. I don't even want the feeling of that, and I think the best way to alleviate that risk feeling is to remove Mr. Brown from these situations and to have a plan going forward
Okay.
about what he's going to do with his life.
Mm-hmm.
He and I have spoken extensively about it. Of course, one cannot make plans from inside the jail to an extent. A lot of his plans involve leaving the state entirely, which I support. That would alleviate a lot of the risk.
Okay.
It's not just a risk for him, but as we've seen in the facts here, it becomes family members, other people, friends that become unintended targets of these various acts. On short notice, we weren't able to lock in a lot of provisions for what he could do and what we hope he's going to do. But I do want his family to at least discuss with you about the plans that they have, so that the court understands that we're not just saying, hey, just let him go. We'll hope for the best. No, we have something.
Okay, have you just
Let him go. Y'all know about the let him go.
discussed with the family what those plans
I
are?
have.
Okay, well, why don't you let me know what they are?
So generally speaking, his aunt is a business owner. She owns a number of businesses, and so she's able to employ him. One is like a lawn care service. She's got several contracts for that.
Is this local?
Not local in Atlanta. I think it's Metro Atlanta. Is that correct? DeKalb.
Pretty local. Okay. What other ideas?
So that would just be the first one.
Yep.
I would like for her to speak about who she reached out to out of state. So she's got other relatives out of state that she was able to speak to. I wasn't able to speak with them directly, so that's why she pushed the court to allow her to communicate directly about what those plans are.
Okay.
Would you like me to go early on?
Not to just tell me what her idea is for his rehabilitation. Hmm? Good afternoon.
My name is Marquita Cook Johnson. I am Damekion's maternal aunt. I am a native of Atlanta, a military veteran. I do own two businesses here in DeKalb County. One is a spa and wellness retreat, and the other is a boxing gym, which my partner and I own together. This was a very short notice. I do understand as far as my goal is to get him out of Atlanta as a whole. Prior to his arrest, I had taken him on his first out-of-town trip to get him acclimated to traveling and just seeing what was outside of Atlanta. I was stationed on the West Coast in California. I have several connections there, and as well as Virginia, mostly states where military people reside. I have reached out to a few of my fellow shipmates who are now retired, like I am, that are in a position of mentorship. I feel like for Damekion's safety and as well as my family's safety, it is best for him to relocate as a whole, and also to have realistic expectations. I have in the past had custody of Damekion. He knows I run a very strict household, but even as an adult, at this point, he needs to have a curfew because outside is not the greatest place right now. So, under the terms of him being able to come for immediate employment. My partner is also law enforcement as well in Rockdale County. So, in order for him to come and gain employment with us, he will have very strict accommodations. And like I said, the long term is to get him relocated out of this.
All right, thank you. How much time has Mr. Garlington already served on this case?
Your Honor, Mr. Garlington has been in since September 28th, 2022, which was 974 days.
All right, anything else from the defense?
The custodian will be able to correct, but I think it might have been May when he got arrested.
I checked Odyssey, and that was the date.
Ms. Shelley, can you let me know what you show for his time served so far?
As far as the jail
Pre-trial?
law, you said what now?
Pre-trial? Yeah, well, yeah, in jail.
I don't have access to the pre-trial
don't?
system, just regular felony.
Okay.
Things.
Well, darn. What do you show? I mean, there's an arrest date of May 11th, 2022. Whether he was released and rearrested, I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that part I don't think would count in his favor. I don't really know how they. But it wasn't on this case. If he went to prison, it would have been for some other case.
Custody on this case, even though he went to prison on the case. I'm not saying his prison time.
I
I'm
don't-
talking about when he was first arrested was May 11, 2022.
Okay,
on
well-
these charges.
It's either 974 days or 974 days plus about 4 more months, right? All right. All right. Anything else from the defense? All right. Any rebuttal, I guess, from the state, which I don't know if that's a thing, but anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor, I believe that you've heard a number of the wiretap evidence, within the first trial, Your Honor, that we don't need to reiterate. It is the state's position that Mr. Garlington was given an opportunity to redeem himself when he was resentenced in 2020. And as opposed to working with his aunt or as opposed to leaving the state then, that's not what he did. He re-engaged in gang activity in which we have the text messages regarding the stabbing of Mr. Bennett. And while there might not have been payment, Mr. Adams, after the stabbing of Mr. Bennett, surely reached out to Mr. Garlington on multiple occasions to try to get payment for that particular incident. And either it never transpired, but there was some expectation of payment for that act to be completed. Again, after the murder of Mr. Drinks, there was laughing about the murder on the wiretap. There was a concern about cleaning the vehicle. And that is all from Mr. Garlington's mouth and words. There was concern that other co-defendants were going to tell. And how do we get that person not to speak? So Mr. Garlington, unfortunately, never learned his lesson the first time around. If he had, maybe we wouldn't have been here, and that's all.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to take about a 10-minute recess, and then I'll be back with the sentence.
Wow, what y'all thinking, family? What y'all thinking? Time served, 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, or 20 plus. poses up. I'm gonna skip forward past the break, but whoa, that's crazy, huh? They tryna just nail everybody down. Like, let's see. Oh, actually, it ain't even. Let me see, it's still going. Let's see what they talk about. Look at a body. What up, William Keller Darty? What up, though? See, appreciate you joining. Truth Official. I don't know on this one. I was thinking time served, huh? Truth Official say time served. What y'all say? Y'all let me know what y'all voted for in the chat. Mostly everybody voted for time served, though. We got one person said, or I don't know, a couple people said 1 to 5 years, 20%. I don't know how many people that is, but a couple people said that. Time served, time served. Jazzy T said time served.
No.
Back in Fulton County office, the YSL trial. Damekion, SXARFAXE, Garlington. True say, I don't know. I was thinking time served. Yeah, it definitely should be time served though. I missed how long she said he was in there, but it's been at least a couple years though, right? Almost 2 years, something like that. Alright, let me skip past this part.
Here too, because I have to look around here.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Because I can see, looking at
Right, and that's what
Can we get Mr. Garlington back out?
Oh, we got somebody said life up in there. Somebody said 20 to life.
And the state provide what the statute for aggravated assault is on that lesser on 49.
OCGA 16, that's 5, that's 21.
For
Thanks.
aggravated assault.
49, yeah.
Jazzy T say time served. Abadi and Atkins in there. Larry Alston. Abadi and Atkins. They both up in there. I was talking about body yaddy yaddy yaddy.
Yes.
But appreciate you joining.
Yes. And they've null prost
Or, I don't know. I might have
43.
been talking about Atkins at that time.
43 and 51.
My bad. I might have got them mixed up.
All right, we're back on the record, and I have taken into consideration the state's recommendation, the defense recommendation, the evidence that's been presented. I also am obviously aware of the evidence that was presented in the other trial, and I have taken a look back at the sentences that this court imposed for co-defendants from the prior trial, including co-defendants who were charged with some of the counts that Mr. Garlington is currently charged with and has entered an Alfred guilty plea to. Also taken into consideration his prior record as well as the prior records in the other cases in which this court sentenced. Also, other than one of the sentences imposed by this court in the first trial, the sentences that were imposed were joint recommendations, and I've taken that into consideration as well. The sentence for count 1, which is the RICO count, is going to be 20 years to serve 5, the balance of 15 probated. Count 42, the sentence is 20 years, serve 5, balance probated, concurrent. The sentence on count 1 reduced, I'm sorry, not 1, count 49 reduced to aggravated assault under OCGA 16-5-21. Is that what you said, 21? Okay. Is 20 years to serve 5 with the balance probated, concurrent with the other sentences. And I'll note in that regard that one of the defendants charged with that set of crimes was found not guilty, and 2 others, the state decided to null pros the counts against them. In count 50, the sentence is 20 years, serve 5, balance probated, concurrent. And then the sentence for count 54 is going to be 5 years consecutive to count 50. And it can be suspended upon successful completion of probation. So that's essentially 20 years, 5 to serve with credit for time served, 15 years probated, followed by 5 to serve, which can be suspended and will be suspended as long as the probation is successfully completed. Special conditions of the probation: no contact with any of the victims in this entire indictment or with any of their family members. No contact with any gang members from any gang whatsoever. No gang paraphernalia, no gang associations, no guns, no replicas of guns. You need to secure full-time employment within the first 6 months after you're released from probation. You need to sign a social media waiver and a 4th Amendment waiver. And that is going to mean that during the entirety of your probation, law enforcement at any time they want to can look at your social media posts, can search your person, can search your home, can search your car with or without probable cause to ensure that you do not have any gang paraphernalia, any guns, any drugs, anything you are not supposed to have. You need to secure your GED, which I know you told me yesterday you were working on it and had gotten to parts of that already. Go ahead and get the rest of it within the first year of your probation. And I am going to require that you stay out of Fulton County for the entirety of your probation. All right, that is the sentence of the court. I hope that, as I have said with the other defendants whom I've sentenced, that this has been an opportunity for you to realize that the direction that your life was going is not a good direction, and that you are determined at this point to turn your life around and make good decisions from here on out. Associate yourself only with people that are going to help you to stay on the straight and narrow. So you've got a little bit of time left to serve before you're released. I think a couple of years at least, but go ahead and do that. You can be working on your GED and on job skills while you're in prison. Good luck to you. And I hope not to ever see you again, because if you violate your probation, you're coming before me. So let's make that not be a thing, okay? All right, good luck to you.
You want me to add that, Judge?
What?
Any violations
Back to me,
before
yeah. All right, that concludes court for the day.
You seem happy with that one. Them couple years left. But hold up, so what was the total then?
Successful completion of probation. So that's essentially 20 years, 5 to serve with credit for time served, 15 years probated, followed by 5 to serve, which can be suspended and will be suspended as long as the probation is successfully completed. Special conditions of the probation: no contact with any of the victims in this entire indictment or with any of their family members. No contact with any gang members from any gang whatsoever. no gang paraphernalia, no gang association.
So wait, so he going home? I missed it. I must have been looking too much at the chat. Let me listen to this because I gotta see. It sounded like she just said he going home just now.
Also, other than one of the sentences imposed by this court in the first trial,
Oh no, well she already said he got a couple
sentences
more years.
that were imposed.
So it's probably the 5, and then like it would have to do of the 5 left.
Were joint recommendations, and I've taken that into consideration as
5
well.
years and 15 on
The
probation.
sentence for count 1, which is the RICO count, is going to be 20 years to serve 5, the balance of 15 probated. Count 42, the sentence is 20 years, serve 5, balance probated, concurrent. The sentence on count 1 reduced, I'm sorry, not 1, count 49 reduced to aggravated assault under OCGA 16-5-21. Is that what you said, 21? Okay. Is 20 years to serve 5 with the balance probated, concurrent with the other sentences. And I'll note in that regard that one of the defendants charged with that set of crimes was found not guilty, and 2 others, the state decided to null pros the counts against them. In count 50, the sentence is 20 years, serve 5, balance probated, concurrent. And then the sentence for count 54 is going to be 5 years consecutive to count 50. And it can be suspended upon successful completion of probation. So that's essentially 20 years, 5 to serve with credit for time served, 15 years probated, followed by 5 to serve, which can be suspended and will be suspended as long as the probation is successfully completed. Special.
See, that's weird. 5 to serve, which will be suspended as long as the probation is completed. I guess she's talking about another 5.
Conditions of the probation. No contact with any of the victims in this entire indictment or with any of their family members. No contact with any gang members from any gang whatsoever. No gang paraphernalia, no gang associations, no guns, no replicas of guns. You need to secure full-time employment within the first 6 months after you're released from probation. You need to sign a social media waiver and a 4th Amendment waiver. And that is going to mean that during the entirety of your probation, law enforcement at any time they want to can look at your social media posts, can search your person, can search your home, can search your car with or without probable cause to ensure that you do not have any gang paraphernalia, any guns, any drugs, anything you are not supposed to have. You need to secure your GED, which I know you told me yesterday you were working on it and had gotten to parts of that already. Go ahead and get the rest of it within the first year of your probation. And I am going to require that you stay out of Fulton County for the entirety of your probation. All right, that is the sentence of the court. I hope that, as I have said with the other defendants whom I've sentenced, that this has been an opportunity for you to realize that the direction that your life was going is not a good direction, and that you are determined at this point to turn your life around and make good decisions from here on out. Associate yourself only with people that are going to help you to stay on the straight and narrow. So you've got a little bit of time left to serve before you're released. I think a couple of years at least, but go ahead and do that. You can be working on your GED and on job skills while you're in prison. Good luck to you. And I hope not to ever see you again, because if you violate your probation, you're coming before me. So let's make that not be a thing, okay? All right, good luck to you.
You want me to add that, Jenny?
What?
Any violation
Back to me,
for
yeah. All right, that concludes court for the day.
What up, Lori? Lori says 5 years in credit for time. He's already done maybe 1 or 2 years to maybe 1 or 2 years to serve, then probation, maybe 1 or 2 left. Okay, appreciate you. Lovely say this sentence is stupid. This part of the sentence is stupid. Appreciate you. Larry Alston says he's been in 3 already. He'll be home in about a year or so, give or take a couple months. Right. As long as Fanny don't go in there trying to set people up. Y'all know how she do. Well, I don't hear myself. Oh, okay. It's just low. Okay. My bad. Is my voice low? Let me cut it up some. Alright. Give or take a couple months. I hate they keep taking them from their families and everything that they know. Yeah, that's a fact. That's like what they do. They cage them like animals. I got another show coming up about that, about all the little new most recent celebrity arrests coming up probably tomorrow. What's today? Wednesday? I'm gonna try to have that ready for tomorrow night. Appreciate y'all. Let me see. But them being allowed to search him at any time without proper cause, is that normal? I mean, it happens normally. I don't know if it's supposed to be normal, but if he on probation or parole or anything, they can. But are you talking about in the prison? I don't know. I'll be honestly, I gotta watch it 2 or 3 times before I catch up because I'll be operating so many things. I'll be missing a lot of stuff. So I'll come back and talk about it this weekend. I'm gonna do some more YSL on Saturday. So I come back and speak a little bit more once I get to review all this. Cause I don't know. I gotta watch stuff twice to get the full grip of it. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I ain't gonna hold you up too long. I just wanted to drop that. I seen that coming, so I thought we had to definitely get it in. No, she added as a provision that they can review his social media and his home and persons at any time without probable cause. Okay. Let's not blind these guys committed crimes. Let's not be blind. These guys committed crimes, just not what they are charged for, with classic case of charging with BS proof. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, let me shout out everybody in the chat before we get up out of here. We got Larry Alston, appreciate you. Lovely, appreciate y'all stopping by, showing love. Jazzy T in the building, much love, much love. Lori, appreciate you, family, much love. Chan My Black is golden, the queen, appreciate you. The goddess, much love, much love. Truth Official, what up though? He said he usually be in the bushes. Appreciate you stopping by though. Shay, I think she was fair with sentencing and all YSL defenders. Yeah, I agree. Whitaker was fair with her sentencing. I ain't gonna lie. I agree with that. Let's see. Watch the Rise in the building. Appreciate you. Tat, tat, tat. Lord, tat, tat, tat. Clouds. Appreciate you. Jazzy T. Tall Glass. What up? Appreciate you. Allie. What up? Though? Appreciate you. T. Roberts. Appreciate y'all coming through, showing some love, spending some time. And until next time, let me see, wait, one more. Yeah, but banning them from a country is a little extreme. From a county is a little extreme. I said country. Banning them from a county is a little extreme. Yeah, I agree. Especially with what they were charged with, because Glanville would have thrown them in. Yeah, they would have all got life. If Glanville was there, it would have been a wrap. They wouldn't have been able to do those type of pleas. They wouldn't have been able to do that. Hey, FFS in the building. What up, family? We just getting up out of here. Appreciate you, family. What up? Welcome in. It's something, if you missed it, you can rewind it unless you've been in the bushes. Give me my credit. I done muted myself. But shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all, family. Much love. And until next time. Oh, there goes tat, 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 clouds. Sweetie. Until next time, stay fresh and stay blessed, family. We out. flesh, I am the God. No one got the lab on lockdown. Talking hot winters and cold summers. Black Force Ones when we slide in the streets. We all stay home at a club jumping. What up, cousin? I see you, fam. Throwing slime corners when I watch the trial. LEOs be capping, chatting action. Come and tap in the most interactive. I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.
Lock every leg gon' tap in. Gun flesh skin every rap in. You like us gon' with the lights up. You the son, you the shell, tell them pack in. From the left, right, front to the passenger side. It's right here, the premiere. How you know? Cause them boys broadcast to the live. Wanna talk about it? Hit the link right here. Slide coins up, got 100 bands. Montage, watch how the check. And the band made love to a bomber head. 2 bands do a dance like check. I'ma keep going till I'm motherfucking tired. You what? I'm motherfucking tired. Slide real side, could we rain down game? Like, what you mean? Just watch the rise. Watch the rise.
I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.
Flesh of the gods.
I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.